Welcome back, nerds and nerdettes. Firstly, a big thank you to everyone who commented on the previous video. It is interesting to me to hear about the kits that people are too intimidated to build, much like I still kind of am with this one. It's always a wait between perfection and practical, so thank you for those who commented. Secondly, I'm going to be running this shorter video quite differently today. The last one was quite long and just kind of tedious, and I was starting to run out of things to talk about, and I think that showed. So this video is going to cover the fuselage assembly. I'm getting started by black basing the fuselage halves. We've talked about that before. Black basing is going to give me some tonal variation and make the model appear much more realistic once the green is laid down to the interior. Having that black show through in certain areas that are more thinly coated than others with the green, especially around the internal structure of the airframe, really just brings out the detail and highlights the molding on the interior of the aircraft. Even though the previous episode contained a lot of 3D decal application, there are still parts representing instrumentation that must be installed onto the fuselage halves. After some NATO black, the decals slide right off onto the clear parts prepped with some microcrystal clear. I'm still blown away by how these Quinta Studios decals look. They add so much to the internal parts of the model.
I also like to live dangerously.
What you're seeing now is one of the rare times that pre-priming for yellow using a white primer is not the right choice. The Lancaster has a yellow handle railing going down from the cockpit into the forward section of the nose where the bombardier sits, and it gets quite dirty in the process, so having that black underlayer really highlights the color in a good way to represent the real aircraft. The Lancaster kit has a significant amount of clear parts for the windows running down the fuselage. I'm making a concerted effort to avoid making the same mistakes I did on the Memphis Belle kit I just completed. In that kit, some mistakes and some glue application errors resulted in some of the windows becoming fogged, so this time I'm really focusing on the microcrystal clear to make sure that doesn't happen. Compared to the B-17 kits I just finished, the Lancaster is going to be significantly easier to conceal all the electrical wiring in. Those two raised sections in the cabin are the spar covers in the actual airplane. So the wing structural spars run through that section of the aircraft. In the kit, I can just simply drill a hole in each side and run the wiring straight through, and it goes straight out to the wing attachment points on the kit. Those attachment points have convenient holes that allow me to run the wiring into the wings, to the microprocessor and the control board, and out down the landing gear to power once I've finished building that. So all in all, Lancaster much friendlier to this process, which I'm also continuing to evolve with time. If you're enjoying the build series so far, consider hitting the subscribe button. You can also find me on Instagram and Patreon. Feel free to say hello in the comments here or hop over to the other platforms to see behind the scenes.